Welcome. Welcome to Touching the Edge. Thank you so much for joining today. Thank you so much for being part of this process of calming the inner fire and finding a way to shine a coolness into the world. And recognizing that part of this is about understanding how to set limits. Recognizing that setting limits is about being aware that we don't have to just keep taking abuse from other people. And in fact, learning how to set limits is the best way to support other people in treating us the way that we need to be treated. We want to recognize that setting limits is about understanding when to say enough is enough. And so for me, one of the processes that I use is what I call the circle of appropriate intent. The circle of appropriate intent is recognizing that you only want people within your inner circle who have an appropriate intent for you. And so what I'm suggesting is having a limit setting process when you know when someone has passed what is really a limit for you. Now, I'm not suggesting just minor irritations or, when someone is crabby. So these things happen. We all make mistakes with each other. But there is a point where it becomes clear that someone doesn't have an appropriate intent. Their intent is not to respect you. Respect, which means to do again, and spectacle, the glasses, means to see things with fresh eyes. So if someone is not respecting you, they don't have an appropriate intent for you. And I think it's important to recognize that this goes both ways. So you can't have a limit-setting process of an appropriate intent if you're not willing to really strive to have an appropriate intent for others. But the way that I do this is when I have a relationship that really feels like it's rupturing that, what I do is I mark that in my mind when someone has gone really past my sense of limit. And so when that really happens, I'll give a strike to that. In my mind, I'll note that. Now, if that happens again, I'll note it again. Now, it depends on the level of relationship. Now, if this relationship means a lot to me, I'll give it 3 or 4 strikes. It's the second one, I'm really acknowledging it. And by the second strike, I'm going to have a conversation with this individual. I'm going to tell this person, this isn't working for me. And this is why. And I want to understand if something I'm doing is not working for you. Now, if this happens, if I have this conversation, after this third or after this second strike or the third strike, I'm letting them know that if this continues, I'm going to have to make some adjustments in my own life. And so this is what I'm encouraging. And by the way, it's very, very important that you follow through if you set the limit. Don't set a limit and then just let it be ruptured. If you do that, you're really encouraging further issues. You're encouraging to break more of your boundaries. So if you have a relationship that you need to get distance from or you need to let go of, acknowledge that within yourself, because when you acknowledge those strikes within yourself and when you support yourself, when you're willing to let go of a relationship that's not working for you, what you're doing is you're affirming yourself. We want to recognize that our nervous system is really our access to our childhood self. And so when you are willing to set limits, you are letting your childhood self know that you are there to support yourself and have compassion for yourself and to go out into the world from that space. So be aware of the circle of appropriate intent. Notice if someone is rupturing that circle. And if they do it enough, set the limit. And if they do it enough, then let go of the relationship. Because when you let go of relationships that are not appropriate, you are actually affirming your own integrity. So this is one of the ways that we can calm the inner fire. What are you doing to soothe the inner fire? I thank you so much for your time. I'm going to ring the bell. I'm going to ask you to listen carefully. Here we go. Having a sense of the circle of appropriate intent stimulates resilience. Thank you so much for joining. I bring my hands together and I bow to you because you are tremendous. Namaste.